In many of the world's poorest countries, a silent crisis is unfolding. Older women are facing increasingly difficult lives, often living alone in poverty and obscurity. This is not a coincidence. Decades of war, disease, and displacement have taken a toll, leaving behind societies where men are often scarce. The women left behind bear the brunt of this reality. These women, many of whom are widows, are the pillars of their families and communities. They are caregivers, providers, and keepers of traditions. Yet they are often overlooked and marginalized. Their contributions are rarely acknowledged, and their voices are seldom heard. This essay will delve into the complex factors contributing to the growing number of single, older women in developing countries. We will explore how conflict, migration, disease, cultural norms, and poverty intersect to create unique challenges for these women. By understanding their struggles, we can begin to address their needs and empower them to live with dignity and respect. Their stories are a reminder of our shared humanity and the urgent need for a more just and compassionate world. The challenges faced by single older women in poor countries are multifaceted and deeply intertwined. War and conflict have devastating and long-lasting impacts on demographics. Men are often on the front lines, leaving women to navigate the aftermath of violence and loss. Migration driven by poverty and lack of opportunities further exacerbates gender imbalances. Men often leave their villages in search of work, leaving women behind to care for their families and manage their households alone. This separation puts a strain on families and leaves women vulnerable to exploitation and abuse. Disease, particularly HIV/AIDS and other infectious illnesses, has disproportionately affected men in certain regions. This has created a generation of widows and orphans, leaving women to shoulder the burden of caregiving and economic survival. In the Central African Republic, ravaged by years of civil war, women make up the majority of the population. Many have lost their husbands and sons to violence, leaving them to raise their grandchildren and care for the sick and elderly. They struggle to survive with limited access to health care, education, and economic opportunities. In Sudan, patriarchal norms and traditions restrict women's rights and limit their access to resources. Widows often face discrimination and are denied inheritance rights, leaving them trapped in poverty. Nepal, still recovering from a devastating earthquake, has a large population of elderly women who are often left behind as younger family members migrate for work. These women face isolation, poverty, and limited access to basic services. These are just a few examples of the challenges faced by single older women in poor countries. Their stories, though diverse, share a common thread of resilience, strength, and unwavering love for their families and communities. The plight of single older women in developing countries is a global issue that demands our attention. It is a matter of human rights, social justice, and economic empowerment. We must move beyond simply acknowledging their struggles and take concrete actions to address their needs. We need to invest in programs that provide economic opportunities for women, such as microfinance initiatives, vocational training, and access to land ownership. We need to strengthen healthcare systems, particularly in rural areas, to ensure that older women have access to essential medical care. We need to challenge discriminatory cultural norms and traditions that perpetuate gender inequality. This includes promoting girls' education, empowering women to make decisions about their lives, and ensuring that widows have equal inheritance rights. Most importantly, we need to listen to the voices of these women, amplify their stories, and support their leadership. They are not simply beneficiaries of aid, but agents of change who possess invaluable knowledge, skills, and experience. By working together, we can create a more just and equitable world where all women, regardless of age, marital status, or socioeconomic background, can live with dignity and respect.